What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Knab and Ro Show. I'm here with my compatriot and partner in crime, Ro. Say hi, Ro.
Hi, kids.
And welcome back to this week's podcast.
Yay!
What the heck was that? It's like I heard a wha. Yay!
Yeah, I don't know. I noticed my microphone didn't light up, and I'm like, oh no.
Maybe technical difficulties.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes depending on my pitch, it doesn't register. So I don't know if I'm too low or too high sometimes, and it just doesn't register. You know, kind of how like dogs hearing, they hear high pitched, I think is what it is, or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean, you can get a decent microphone. You know, kind of how mine has a pop filter and all that jazz, called the Blue Protocol, I think it's called. Yeah, the Blue microphone. Walmart. Super cheap.
Yeah,
it's great. Sound quality is good. It's not by any means high end, but you know, it's a lot better than some basic thing you get out of your headphones. But you know, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I've had this headset for a while. I think it does fine.
That's good.
Yeah,
it sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds great too. Listening to our podcast.
yeah, we're just amazing, bro.
We are amazing.
It's so much amazing. So, tell me, Ro, what did you do last week?
Nothing too exciting. I did, on Saturday, I did do some upgrades to my computer, and not like huge ones, but my little fans in my computer were dead and have been dead for a while, and was like, well, might as well get those taken care of. And along the process, found out that I needed a new, power supply, because apparently one of the capacitors had popped.
Yeah,
so
that's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I only spent like $200 for parts and labor, and I upgraded my solid state drive too, because I figured while he's in there, might as well do it now. So
I need one of those.
yeah. So it wasn't all in all. It just, it's okay. So we are technologically impaired with all the things, and I felt like I was missing my right arm, not having my computer here, and I feel horrible saying that, because I use it a lot and I enjoy doing things on it. But I was without it for like 5 hours, and it was the longest 5 hours of my life.
I believe that. I do believe
that. Because I do a lot of my gaming on the weekends, because clearly I work during the day, so I don't have that. So, Saturday, Sunday is like my big gaming time, and I really just wanted to kill zombies and loot houses, and I couldn't. And it just, It was rough. It was a rough Saturday for Ro, but got it back. It's all good.
Good.
Here we go.
What did you do for Halloween? I mean, that was the kind of big thing from this week, right?
Yeah. So Saturday was Halloween, so my computer was gone. But I didn't do the trick or treating or passing out candy or anything.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't have kids, so it wasn't like a huge, important whatever. I did play the zombie game with my sister-in-law, though, so that was fun.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, my brother had started a game a couple weeks ago, and she plays on the PS4 or some PlayStation number.
Does it cross over?
It doesn't, but she started her own game, and then she played on my game a little bit, and I think she liked it better than the PS.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's pros and cons
compared to PC, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to it. She was telling me some things that weren't in the computer one that were on the PlayStation one, and vice versa. So, it's nice to see the comparisons to it. I don't know any different, so But yeah, so just chill at home and did stuff around the house, and pretty low key. But yeah, what'd you do? How's Halloween for you?
It was good. So we went to my buddy's girlfriend's sister's neighborhood, if you caught that. So buddy's girlfriend's sister, right?
Uncle's brother's husband.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I will tell you, even pre-COVID, I have never been in a neighborhood trick-or-treating with this many humans in my life.
Wow, could you imagine what it would have been like if it wasn't COVID?
I can't even imagine. It was so packed. There were people everywhere. Obviously, people didn't, there weren't lines. People respected social distance because you're outside. But, I mean, oh my gosh, it was insane. People were out of candy. We had to skip houses.
That's crazy. I will say, too, I mean, clearly I didn't go out, but the pictures I saw on Facebook of the ideas that people had for this whole social distancing thing were amazing. I mean, they had, I think my mom's neighborhood, a bunch of them just set up kind of like tables out in the front yard that were kind of close to the sidewalk, so they didn't have to walk all the way up to the house or anything. But so they did that, and then the candy shoot thing, which I think has been going around for a while. Yeah, that was good too. And then I saw some people do clothespins on string with like full-size candy bars on them. They're like, these kids deserve it. They've had a rough go this year, and they would just restring. I think they had strings mounted up from like wall to wall on their front porch or whatever, and just clipped candy bars on the string. And I was like, that's pretty creative. Yeah.
I was very happy for this once not have to pass out candy, because typically I'm at my front door passing out candy. And the last year, we've done 1 year. So the 1 year we did it at this house, we might have seen 8 to 10 people total.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. And if I was passing out social distance wise, I'd be like, stay there. I'd just start chucking candy at the sidewalk.
Right.
Here, take your candy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have to do this, so that was nice.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah.
So Ro, what are we talking about this week?
Well, since both of us are children of the 80s, meaning we were born in the 80s, I thought it would be fun to revisit some 80s toys from our childhood. And kind of reminisce and get all nostalgic and whatnot. So we did find a website that had a list of top 30.
Yep.
Top 30 toys, or 30 toys that defined the 80s, and we're gonna go through them and see how awesome we were, that if we had them, if we wanted them, if we never got them, and why they were so important.
Yep. And here's the website. And as you can see, again, we're not getting any money from this. Stacker, this is theirs. We're just using it to look through. So thank you, Stacker, for allowing us to, didn't talk to anybody, but you know what I mean. So we're just going to jump right in, if that works for you, Ro.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. I'm ready. Let's go.
So
Let's do it.
We're going to start here. The Care Bears.
Care Bears. I love the Care Bears. I still love the Care Bears. Yeah. My little Discord icon is Wish Bear. That's my favorite.
Wish Bear. Oh my god.
Wish Bear. Yeah, I love it. He's my favorite.
I mean, came out in the 1983 is when it came out there. I'm sorry. It looks like it was the card characters in 81, and it came out with the dolls in 83.
Right. Yeah. Well, not only did they have the plush, but they had little plastic figurines, and then they drove cloud cars, so they had cloud cars, and they had some animated series and movies, and just make you feel good.
Oh yeah, make you feel like you care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really have one. I mean, as a guy growing up, we didn't have many of those things. I don't even think my sister had anything like that, but we were familiar. With it. But,
you didn't live under a rock. At least you knew what they were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, when you have plushies, television series, and all types of stuff. I mean, it kind of went kind of crazy, like Beanie Babies.
Yeah, definitely. Not to that point, but I mean, those Beanie Babies, I tell you. But that's another era.
Yeah, exactly. So here's one Ro and I can really get amongst here. So the Atari, which came out in the early 80s, right? That is crazy. So we thought it came out before that, but it makes sense how fast the technological age has come as far as games go. I mean,
yeah, definitely. And we didn't have an Atari growing up. We got the Nintendo, like the legit regular first Nintendo, and that is what we played. I mean, my dad, because my brothers weren't born until like early 90s, so it was definitely my sister, my dad, and I, and we played Duck Hunt and Mario and Zelda. My dad loved Zelda. I remember the game came with a map, and half the map was already like filled out and printed on, and then it was blank. And that man spent so many hours. He drew the rest of the Zelda map on the blank part of the map so he could, do what he needed to do. And he ended up beating the game.
That was Atari?
No, Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah. But I wasn't an Atari person. We were a Nintendo family.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I didn't play Atari until, oh gosh, probably 4th or 5th grade, I think, at my friend's house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we take it back, you look at some of the things here that says, right? Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Asteroids, right? Think about basic, like Pac-Man. Everybody knows who Pac-Man is. And
yeah, but I remember playing Pac-Man more in like an arcade setting, I think, versus the Atari itself.
Yep. Yeah, I think the first time I played it was actually on Atari. And there was this tank game where it was you versus another person, and you had to move your little tank around and try to shoot the other person. It was very fun. All right.
Interesting.
Moving on. Oh,
strawberry shortcake.
I know of it. I was a guy, right? So I don't know much about strawberry shortcake, but it was around.
Yeah, I definitely. So I had strawberry shortcake, and for those of you that aren't familiar with these, they smelt like what they were. I think one of them was like lemon meringue. It smelled like lemon. Strawberry shortcake smelled like strawberry. There's the blueberry. Blueberry. And it was just great. And they had. Did they have books? I'm sure they had books. I think I'm thinking of a different toy, but yeah, strawberry shortcake was huge. It definitely in the girl scene for that. But I liked them. I did have them. I had the little yellow one and a strawberry shortcake.
Are they gone by now, Ro?
No, I still have a little shelf of. So I had this growing up. I had this. It wasn't a lunchbox, but it was a tin. It was a metal box, and it had a handle, and it was strawberry shortcake. I'll take a picture and I'll post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I still have that from my childhood, and I would keep all of my little trinkets and things that I found as a kid. It was just like my little special trinket box, and I had like bows and things in there. Yeah, so I'll have to take a picture. But I still have that. It's a retro '80s metal box, and I still have a couple other things too. But yeah, I'll take pictures of my Care Bear stash and my strawberry shortcake stash. And
oh goodness, I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud.
I know. I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but I definitely am a sentimental person and like to keep things. So
well, good. Yeah, strawberry shortcake definitely fits that 80s mold.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Pogo. What is that?
Pogo ball. You don't know the Pogo ball?
Oh yes, I do. I was horrible at this game. I couldn't do it. Yeah.
So it consists of a couple different skills. The first and foremost being balancing, right? So balancing it, but you had to squeeze with your feet and your legs, squeeze this ball as you jumped, because if you didn't squeeze, you fell off.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't master that. I couldn't. Nope.
Oh, it was fun. I absolutely love it. It was a blast. I enjoyed playing it. You know, I had a friend that had it. I never had it, but I had friends that did. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I wasn't good at it. No, thank you.
Space Legos. I mean,
Legos are Legos.
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of the very first sets, I feel like. One of the big sets was the Space Legos. I know I had some Space Legos. Back in the Lego movie, they had actually this Space Lego guy.
Oh.
And that was taken. So if you go back, and he always wants to build a rocket ship. He wants to build a rocket ship. It goes back to Space Legos in the 1980s. So that's what that guy was coming from. He was so excited to build a spaceship.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Legos are a timeless toy. I mean, they come so far. You can do so much with Legos.
It's so funny we're talking about Legos. I was actually watching something before I took a nap today of this challenge of master Lego people who had to build these scenes on this kind of little platform, and then the scene had to be slowly dropped into a giant thing of water and had to stay together. It had to mesh well with the water, so buoyancy was a part. It was unbelievable.
Oh gosh.
These people, what they do with it was unreal.
Oh yeah. Well, Legoland, and I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Florida. When we went to Florida, early 2000s. Yeah, 2000.
Yeah.
They had Legoland, and my brothers spent like a whole day there. It was just nothing but Legos and building things, and everything was made out of Legos. And I mean, the time it took to make some of these things was it was crazy. It was really cool, but I'm not that much of a Lego fan to spend that much time on it.
Yeah, I've done my fair share of Legos, but yeah, nice. I think 1980s. That's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Monster in My Pocket.
I don't
too familiar with these, but
I don't remember. I remember hearing about them, but that was about it. Maybe I saw a commercial or something.
Yeah, it was definitely commercial.
I don't ever think I ever played with them.
Because here's the problem. These are those toys when you're as a kid, you get it, you play with it for like a few seconds, then it ends up underneath your couch or thrown somewhere in the corner of the room and you never find it again until you end up moving or you vacuum it up. It's just...
Yeah.
It was just a little bit too basic, I'd say.
I feel like they're almost like McDonald's toys almost. You know, like the...
Right.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
they don't look very exciting.
No. Okay, moving on. Monster in My Pocket. Good job.
Oh!
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 1983. Wow, look at this. One of those, mint condition, in 2012, sold for $70,000.
That's nuts. Who has that kind of money? I wish I had that kind of money.
That's crazy. What does it say? Merchandise. The four evil fighting brothers totaled more than $1.1 billion in the first 4 years of Turtlemania. You know how much $1.1 billion was back in the 80s?
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. That was probably like the first... I remember going and seeing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and I was probably like, I don't know what time when the movie came out, but I was probably like 7 or 8, maybe.
Wow.
A little bit younger, but I remember exactly what I wore because it was kind of like my very first date with this little boy from school who invited me, and his younger brother was the same age as my sister, so it was like the four of us that went with their parents.
Wow.
And I wore this like really cute little teal dress, and I wore my jelly shoes because jelly shoes were super popular, and I wore white tights with like these white frilly socks over them. Like I just was dressed to the nines because I was going on a date. Yeah, it was good. It was good times. I think I tripped and fell in the parking lot and scuffed my white shoes, my white dress shoes. Oh no, I was wearing. It was a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember falling in the parking lot and like scraping my knee too. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Yeah, I don't remember really having these. I think I might have had a couple of these, but
and my brother had a couple at some point just because they lasted so long. I mean, Ninja Turtles lasted years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and they came up with the movie and all that jazz. But that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
The Basic, the Rubik's Cube.
Oh, I have yet to beat this in life.
Yeah, well, you know who's good at these? Marshall.
Oh,
Marshall.
Florida Marshall, yeah.
Yeah, he is very, 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 very good at these. And not to mention, they also have competitions still to this day. Speed competitions on who can finish these.
Oh yeah, I've seen it, and I'm just like, how do you do this?
Like 3.6 seconds or something like that. It's ridiculous how fast they can do this.
Yeah, no thanks. I would probably still be picking the stickers off and just moving them about.
Yeah, there's definitely a pattern. Once you figure out the pattern, it's easy, but I've never taken the time to sit down and do it. But yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
You hear that, Marshall? We're going to try to get you to do that on one of the podcasts.
We'll time you. Ready?
Go. Yeah. Roll Racer. Okay, I had some friends that had this, and this was a blast. So it consisted of, so you sit down, you put your feet on those handlebars, or like the silver part, and then you hold the handle, and you kind of went left and right, and it scooted your butt as you went to gain more momentum. It was hilarious.
I never owned it. I saw people that had it, but I never,
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed it. I never had one again. A lot of the toys that I saw, I feel like I saw at a friend's house.
Friend's house. Yeah.
But this is one of those friend's house toys that I
had
once. Yep. It was good.
Right.
The Roller Racer.
Good times.
The Speak and Spell.
I thought this was the shiznit growing up. I didn't have it, but a couple of my friends did, and we would just play for hours on this. I mean, who would have thought trying to spell words or say words? Actually, we probably spent most of our time trying to do like inappropriate words.
Did this have like the creepy voice or an A? E.
It did.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
very had a funny accent. Yeah, and trying to get it to say certain words were just hilarious.
And now all you have to do is Google from your phone.
I know, yeah. Google Translate.
That's all you need to do. Yeah, but that was good. Yeah. God Lord. Even in the picture, it's all faded. Look at that.
It is, yeah.
Oh, man.
So old.
That's amazing. Next, here we go. Moving on. Light Bright. So this is a good picture. I think this is one I need to post on Facebook. But Light Bright was, as you would call the shiznit. This is one of those things where you had a big square, or a big square, and you could put those little tiny pegs in the back black board where the holes are, and make pictures. And there was a light behind it that shone, and it was all.
Yeah, and it came with paper that had designs on it, and then it would have like the holes that you would have to put these little color pegs in. Yeah. So you could make fun designs and fun. Yeah, I had a Light Bright. It was a lot of fun. We were always missing the pieces though, or leaving them out, and my parents would step on them. And
oh yeah, it's like Legos. You end up missing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although these are round, so it wasn't as bad as the Legos with the pointy edges, but still.
Oh, the test of manhood back in the days, stepping on the Legos. Yeah.
I think it still is.
No, it is. It definitely is.
Honestly,
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. You just wait till your kids get older and then you deal with it.
That's right. That's right. Koosh Ball. This is.
I remember the smell of these.
Yes. Oh my.
More so than anything.
It's like you see one of those memes on Facebook, like you can smell it and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, just like Janice from Friends and.
Yes, and I remember the distinct.
Hear her.
Yeah, the distinct touch and the feel of how it felt.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The smell. I'll never forget that smell.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I've had numerous of these. Who would have thought putting a bunch of little floppity-doo plastic strings together would be such a fun little toy?
It's sensory overload.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my god.
Yes! Glowworms! Oh my gosh.
I had this guy on the left. I literally
my sister had one. Yeah. But hers was different. It had a different dress on it.
Yeah.
It was like the baby, but it wasn't the blue guy. It was a different one.
Yeah.
But I totally remember glowworms. They were great.
Yeah, I literally had this one on the left, and you'd squeeze its belly, and its face would light up.
Yeah. Yeah.
In retrospect, you look at it, it's so creepy.
Well, I don't recall having... The ones that I had the gems.
Yeah, mine didn't have a gem.
Mine didn't. Yeah, I think the gem thing is kind of throwing me off with creepiness. But
yeah, that's a
weird one. Yeah. Glowworms.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, memories.
I want puppies.
Yes, my brother and I both had one. My name for mine was Spike.
That's awesome. I had numerous. I don't know if my mom kept them, but I had a basket, like a legit basket full. I had a couple big ones and then a lot of the little ones, and I had a basket full of pound puppies. And they also had pound kitties too. Yeah. And I had one of those. Yeah, I had a pound kitty. And you know what's funny is I used that pound kitty for when we had kittens because it was the size of a kitten. So when I moved out of my parents and I got my first kitten living alone, I showed her that, and she would snuggle up to it like it was. It was her size. So I always kept it around for the kittens that I would, my future kittens that I would adopt. Although the one ended up chewing off her tail.
Oh.
She was a chewer. It was really weird. She was my cat dog. Long story about that one, but that's for another night.
Yeah.
But she chewed off her tail, and I was like, oh no, but I still have it.
Do you? I think my mom still has our pound puppy somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll try to get her to take a picture of it and send it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was good. Oh my goodness. Okay, fashion plates. This is kind of like the old thing where you take crowns or whatever and you rub it on something that's indented on a piece of paper. I get the concept of it. I think it's fine. I'd never played with that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't either. I had something a little bit different. I had something that was more, it was a stencil, not so much like where you would rub across, but you would, it was a stencil, and then you could kind of design your own clothes after you stenciled out the person and whatnot. So I had that, but I definitely remember these. I didn't have one, but yeah, I remember it being super popular. All the cool kids had it.
See, what we did is we go outside, we'd get leaves and stuff, put them underneath the paper, and then rub a crown on it. We didn't need these fancy stuff. We just bought some crayons and went out in nature and found us some fun stuff. That's right.
Yeah, I remember doing silly putty and putting it on the newspaper.
Oh, I bet it'll be here.
Oh, hopefully.
Yeah,
if
hopefully
not.
it should. Yeah. Like I said, we did not look ahead. We said we're gonna just go with it as
wing it.
Yeah, wing it.
Wing it.
Oh, I was
oh my gosh,
these would have been here. So
these.
Jeff Cullen. So this was not even in the 80s, but it was probably in the 90s. So this is when I was in elementary school. A buddy from school, Jeff Cullen, had these in his basement, and I remember going over there and bouncing on them. Now,
they're kind of awkward.
Yeah, but at that point, this is way past when they were made, and he saw them, and I was literally going back in time, like, I remember these when I was younger, man. And I still put them on my feet and bounced around. They were a blast.
Yeah, although I do remember the rubber bands that would hold them together would lose their elasticity.
Yes,
super quick, so then you would be just like clogging around in like plastic boxes. But,
oh, that's great. I was hoping this would be here. Moon shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So good. Polly Pocket.
Polly Pocket. Yes, good old Polly Pocket. I never played with her, but she was one of the most popular things out there.
Oh yeah, 89. Yeah, it was more of a late 80s voice. I remember my sister liking Polly Pocket and having a couple Polly Pockets.
Right.
I necessarily didn't. Of course, I played with hers, but it really wasn't my jam. It was just too small.
Yep.
Like,
lose a lot things easy.
Too little. Yeah, I was like, meh, whatever.
Bro, that's why it's called Polly Pocket. It goes in your pocket.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, that's enough of Polly Pocket. Moving on.
Yeah. Oh, He-Man.
He-Man, the Masters of the Universe. Yes.
He looks so scary in this picture.
That is a pretty bad picture of He-Man, yeah.
Yeah, his face.
Oh my gosh. I felt like there's something we could like push right here in his chest and it does something. Like moves his arms or something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe arm movement.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge He-Man. I was a She-Ra fan. I loved She-Ra, who was his twin sister. Not sure if you followed the story, but
kind of.
Yeah, so it's He-Man and She-Ra, and they were twins separated at birth, and all that fun regular story.
Oh yes, but there's been multiple things. I know even on YouTube people have said like, what is the actual power of He-Man, and people try to analyze it, and they've done videos about it.
Right,
but
right.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Monchichi.
Monchichi. I had no idea what these things were ever called. They were just monkeys that sucked their thumb all the time.
Yeah, like even look at this one. The nose is rubbed off.
Yeah.
It's so old. A brand new one of those would be so rare.
I don't really understand what the whole fascination was about it, but
it's a cute monkey that sucked its thumb.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with it. But yeah, I feel like I had one at some point, but I was like, meh.
Well, okay, so to be honest here, so it was released back in 1974, didn't reach the U.S. until 1980. So it was a very early
80s.
When toys literally were that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
look at this. A Saturday morning cartoon series in Hanna-Barbera in 1983. So, I mean, I never saw it, but I bet it.
I don't.
It does, yeah. We remember it. We've seen it. We know it. We remember it, but we don't know much about it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Piano dance mat. Okay, so this is great, and the one you see here is in New York, and F.A.O. Schwartz. Yep. There we go. Right. F.A.O. Schwartz right there. You do see it in this movie, right? Which was fantastic. Big. Yep.
Yep.
I don't remember being able to really get something that big. I'm assuming you could, but...
Yeah, I don't... I don't ever recall playing on one, but I was always fascinated by it because it was in a few movies, and it was always in the FAO Schwartz Christmas catalog that we would get every year and circle all the toys we wanted. For Christmas out of that.
Yeah, we have something like that, like a piano, but it's on like a plastic mat, kind of like you'd see on a Dance Dance Revolution plastic mat. Thing is garbage. Right. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You hit the thing, it barely moves, it barely works. Yeah, no, this was like plastic. This was the bee's knees back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in my day, they actually built things to last.
Oh, I'm so old, I need new tennis balls for my walker.
Stop it. All right, next page. We're getting here in the final echelon. Little people family house.
Yes.
I
remember this.
Barely remember this. Kind of do. I remember the art. The art.
Yeah, my grandma had it at her house. This was we always had the toys that we could only play at grandma's house because clearly they were at grandma's house. This was one of them. This was something she had at her house, and we could only play. We only saw when we went to go visit her.
It's the same family.
And I mean, yeah, and we visited her often, so it wasn't like I was deprived by any means. But it wasn't something that we readily had available to us at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely remember that. It was like a tin house. And I remember the furniture. At least the bed. I can't remember anything else, but I distinctly remember the bed being where the little people laid on was made out of foam.
I don't remember that.
And and the foam was deteriorating in the bed, the one that my grandma had.
Oh,
and I was just like, I ended up picking all of it out because it was just stupid.
Yeah. Well, then right here, you look at the front of the house, you flick this little switch here.
Yeah.
And then it would like hit a bell on the inside. There's a spring, and it would bounce up, and then it would knock a bell, like ding.
Right.
It had a working doorbell. It was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it's good.
See, I'm the kid that would just go and flick that stupid doorbell for
very,
hours.
very innovative for the 80s.
Yeah. That's when my dad goes in and removes the spring so I can't do it anymore.
You were one of those kids,
I was one of those kids, yeah. That is true. Oh, man. Okay, Mad Balls.
Ew.
Yes, I remember Mad Balls. Okay.
Yeah, I think the green one, especially if you pushed it, like when the eyeball would come out, like
the eyeball or whatnot, yeah,
kind of squish out. Yeah, my brothers had this. When did it come out? It had to have been like the late '80s.
These gross-looking rubber balls, an attempt by Amtoy in '85 to find a product for boys after finding hits with the Care Bears and the Holly Hobbies for the girls.
Oh, so Holly Hobby.
Yeah, they need something gross for the boys.
Toys are gross.
We are
They're cooties.
That is true. But I like it. Those are great.
Yeah, I remember those. Rainbow Brights.
Oh man.
Yes.
Rainbow
Bright. I had some of these dolls. Yep. I had the dolls, the accessories, the horse. Yeah.
I just remember the television show. I remember seeing these. This is a toy that you would find in daycares across the United States.
Yes. Agreed.
Like all of these, not just herself, Rainbow Bright, but her friends and whatnot. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, and you still you can still go to some like old churches, some older daycares, and you will still find those there.
Well, and they had a bunch of different sizes too, because I remember my grandma had like these sizes at her place, and I remember having a couple ones that are about that size and then a little bit smaller, and then she had little like Sprite friends, and I had some miniature versions of them.
Yeah.
And then I had the horse, but then I remember they had like good sized ones too, that were pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Rainbow Bright was all the rave for sure.
I like it.
Yep.
I dig it.
One of my favorite toys. Oh, Teddy Ruxpin.
I had one. I had the one that had the little magic button on him. And when you turned the magic button, it would talk, and its mouth would move, and it would tell you a story. You had a little spot.
Yeah, all the Teddy Ruxpins did, didn't they?
I thought so. This one doesn't have it.
Yeah. So I distinctly remember. I think it was in the back. If you took that little brown vest thing off, you put okay, I'm dating myself, a cassette in
That's right.
in the slot, and then his eyes would move and his mouth would go up and down. I was really upset because I ended up taking this to daycare with me, and some little kid broke the jaw, so the jaw wouldn't move anymore when you played the cassette. And I remember my mom being so mad. She's like, "This is an at-home toy only. I can't believe you took it." And blah blah blah. And I was like,
no.
But no, I remember. Yeah, Teddy Ruxpin.
That was good. Yeah, we have something kind of like this. It has 6 different, or four, I think, different fairy tales on it. It is called Dalty the Dragon. And its head kind of moves around, its mouth moves, and it tells you a story. I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's definitely not a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah. Oh.
I like
I always wanted to cuddle him too, but his chest was
always too hard.
Like, it was hard, yeah.
You gotta put a recorder in there.
Couldn't cuddle him as much as you could others.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Cabbage Patch Kids dolls.
Yes.
I think everybody had one of those.
Everybody, boys and girls, equally.
Yep.
Yep. No, I had my fair share of them. I even had a couple. They ended up making, instead of the plastic, they made them out of porcelain. Clearly, you couldn't play with them.
Yeah.
But I remember as a child, we got a lot of these gifts of like really nice, like the Christmas Barbies and Barbies that we couldn't play with, had to stay in the box because they were collector's editions or whatever. And I remember my sister and I each got one of these porcelain Cabbage Patch dolls from my grandma, and they were just so pretty, but they had to stay in this really nice glass shelf, and we could never touch them or play with them. We could just look at them, and I was like, well, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Because you can't play with them. But
it's a collector's item. But now, if you kept it in mint condition, it's probably worth a nice mint. I'm just saying.
Oh, probably. Yeah, it's probably at my mom's house somewhere. It's a good thing my mom has this 2-story house, because having 4 kids and keeping all their crap, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, Simon says, this is
I remember the commercials for this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, this doesn't look that big. This thing was honking huge. It was heavy.
Oh, yeah. It was heavy. Yeah.
These little switches would always flip and break. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely needed to put that on a table if you were going to play it, or the ground.
Oh, yeah. This thing would end up in toy boxes, busted up, broken. But, I mean, it was pretty strong. I mean, like, the casing never broke.
Right.
There was something small like the buttons that broke, but this is great.
Yeah.
This
it's a good choice.
Yeah. What does it see here? 1978, which started to come out there, right? Sold for the equivalency of $96. Good Lord. Okay, so this is just before the 80s. Yeah. But this still works. It works. It became popular in the 80s. Oh my gosh, 1989.
Oh, I was trying to say, I can't believe, I was like, this is totally a 90s toy, but
yeah
89, huh?
Well, I mean, originally in 1980 from Japanese company, right? So that's when the original was produced. But yeah, it came out in 1989. We would go on road trips. On the other side, there was it wasn't USB, but similar kind of concept of USB. On the side, you connected 2 of these. You could play Tetris together. I played the crap out of a Game Boy.
Yeah, we didn't have them in our house until probably my brothers were 6 or 7, I think. But they was hardcore. They had them in a bunch of different colors. I remember Pokemon was like a big thing too, and they had different Pokemon game colors. I also remember they had like a little mini printer that you could attach to the side of one and print things.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I never had that. I had a big magnifying glass that clicked to the top of it and went over the top of your screen so it could magnify the screen and had lights on it so you could play it at night because it wasn't a bright screen. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
So you needed to have lights to be able to see the Game Boy. Oh my god. I still remember the Tetris game noises. Do 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 do, and iconic. So iconic.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, but you're talking to gamers here, so
Smurfs.
So yeah,
I had some of these. Actually, I think I had that one specifically. Actually, yeah, I did have a few Smurf figurine things, and Smurfette, the only girl out of the Smurfs. I used to watch the show. I think it was a pretty like Saturday morning cartoon show too. I think.
Can you imagine if you had all $400, all 400 figurines in that collection?
Oh,
how much you could get for that?
I mean, I had no idea that they made that many.
Yeah, I know. Goodness.
I mean, I maybe had 5 or 6.
But that's still pretty. Yeah, I know. But if back in the day when you had stuff like that, if you had just known, you're like, no, you can't play with it. Give it to me.
Right.
Put it in a like airtight, sealed, locked away somewhere in a time capsule. Buried it.
Oh my god.
Like 30 years from now.
Jeez.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Nerds.
Power Wheels.
What?
That came out in '86? Or the Jeep
Shut
model
the front door. No way.
Wow. That's impressive. That's still a big thing today.
Yeah, I never. Okay, so funny story. So we never had. Well, my sister got some sort of like BMW car. It wasn't a Jeep like that, but there was some sort of power car that she ended up getting. But then when my brothers, because my brothers are pretty close in age, they ended up getting one for Christmas, and it was like that Jeep, but it was like a boy version of it or whatever. It wasn't Barbie.
Right,
but so, you know, of course they outgrew it. Of course my mom kept it because that's what my mom does. And I mean, it still looks brand new. Like you could just would have bought it off the shelf. But my nephew used it for a couple years. It was, you know, 20 years old and still, I think they needed to get a new battery for it. But
yeah,
I mean, it looked brand new. Like they just went and bought it off a shelf.
I want to get roaring an actual go-kart, but like, there you go, son.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I know my nephew did too. But
Power Wheels, that's fantastic. All right,
so good.
We are rounding up to number 30. I don't think these are in any order. It's just in general. So what is the last one here?
The last one.
Star Wars. Oh my gosh, I had this guy. I had this guy. I mean, there's a ton missing, right?
Yeah.
85.
I feel like I played with a couple of these, but they were very much used. And I think they were probably grandma house toys.
Yeah,
I don't really remember them.
Gosh, 30 toys that define the 70s. That's a whole nother podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I wasn't alive in the 70s, but
we could do a guest with somebody, talk about it and take them back, or even do toys back in like the 70s, bring our parents in or something.
Yeah, oh, that would be fun. Yeah, awesome. We need to.
So here's what you guys need to do. Down in the comments, let us know what your favorite 1980s toy was, because obviously there's a bunch we probably didn't talk about.
Yeah, no, definitely. Silly Putty wasn't on here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Should we just look
Popples? Popples weren't on here.
Should we look it up real quick, Ro?
Do what? We're looking up.
Top toys of the 1980s. You know, let's just see what comes down, and we'll just look at images.
Oh, most iconic.
Oh my goodness.
The Viewmaster.
My Pet Monster.
Oh yes, I remember him. Yes. Oh look, there's the Popples. See? There's the Popples.
Yeah, there's a Popple right there.
Yep. Oh, that Snoopy snow cone maker. I wanted that so bad as a child, and I never got it.
Oh, this. There's the glowworm I had right there.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep. That's the normal looking one.
Not quite so creepy.
Oh, Kid Sister and My Buddy.
Yeah, right there.
I know that song still.
My buddy,
my buddy,
wherever he goes, we go.
Kid Sister.
Trolls?
Kid Sister. Trolls have been around for like ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Then you have some like little things like the vintage thingies, but
yeah,
I think it was good. Oh my gosh, Hungry Hippos.
Oh, Hungry Hippos. Yeah. Oh, and then the play school skates where you put your put your shoes onto them.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. And
so good.
Came out, and Ray Nintendo, like you talked about, came out in the 80s.
Yep.
So that's the thing.
Yep.
I mean, good lord. We could go through this whole thing, but we're not going to. But we're just going to leave this one here. But again, let us know in the comments down below what you guys would have picked. And We should set a goal, Ro, to do another one of these toy type podcasts.
Yeah,
like,
we should.
If we get 50 likes, let's start small. What do you think? If we can get 50 likes on the podcast,
yeah,
and we'll remind you guys. We'll send out things. If we get 50 likes on this podcast, we'll do another one, and then try to do like the 70s.
Do the 90s. I would do 90s.
Yeah, absolutely. I think once you hit the 90s, they just kind of
90s will be good too. Yeah.
Oh man.
Agreed.
All right, well, we're hitting about 45 minutes in, so I think we'll call that a day here. But, Ro, thank you again for a lovely podcast.
Of course, my pleasure. Anytime. Same time next week.
Same time next week. That's right. Same time, same place. So, if you like the podcast, go ahead and jack that like button right in the nose. Don't forget to tell your friends and family all about the Knab and Ro Show. And as always, this podcast is a wrap.
Till next time, kids.